It's been a minute. It's been a minute since I've had to do Feedback Friday like this, y'all. So bear with a bill, because I'm going deep on Feedback Friday. Yeah, Feedback Friday. It's amazing how difficult life is when you don't have a trusty carafa to help you. Trusty carafa is at the basketball game with Paul. And no, they're not watching basketball. They're setting up for basketball. So, meanwhile, I'm setting up the old phone rig. Good Lord. I need to shave and dye my mustache because I am ridiculous. Okay, we're gonna get on board with this show in just a minute. Got to get comfortable. Show off my latest shirt. Well, this isn't really that new, but it's Gandalf. Keep on Tolkien. Get it? Feedback Friday. Flex. Hello, Flex. Hello. I do not like this flattering angle of myself, so I'm going to try to crank that up a little bit. No, I don't like that angle either. Good Lord. All right, that's okay. While the room is filling up, I'm just gonna move some things around and use a stack of players' handbooks to make a pedestal for my camera. There we go. Pro tip, always shoot at eye level because then you might not look as fat as you normally are. There we go. Fantastic. As you can see, we are in the control room, friends. We are in the control room, friends. We are in the control room, friends. Annie Adams, there's a Feedback Friday. It's been a while, you guys, mainly because we're so busy. But I'll be here for the next half an hour until Carafa gets mad and calls me down. So I will give you guys an update on like all the craziness of the month of February, even though we still have one day left because leap years. But yeah, it has been an absolutely insane month, friends. Absolutely insane. So I will say hello to Flex, hello to Ann Adams, hello Scotty Marish, hello Rymore Morris. Yes, Everardo, I know it's blackout. I'll be down there in a half an hour. Yeah, so even before LionCon, this month was crazy. So as you guys probably have seen on the channel, we have been putting out just an incredible amount of content. Monster Mondays, we relaunched Crafty Thursday this month. We've been doing the Vixens and the Medusas and the Bard Odyssey. It has just been absolutely crazy. And then over Valentine's Day weekend was Rockathon, which is our simulcast where our TV station that I'm in charge of collaborates with our radio station, and we do a live fundraiser, a simulcast on radio, TV, and streaming for 88 hours. We started on YouTube with the stream, and that got killed within the first few hours because of copyrighted music, which the radio station has the right to play on a broadcast, but not on a live stream. So then we switched over to Twitch, and from there everything was fine. It was pretty amazing. After 4 days, we raised over $24,000. So we get like a third of that, which I'm very happy with. That really helps support the TV program. And it's really our biggest and only major fundraiser of the year. So that was a hugely helpful thing for our TV program. And then the very next weekend was LionCon, and LionCon was also a damn good success. It was our third annual LionCon. We started this up 3 years ago. It was started out of a interest to create a convention in the Chicago suburban area that was small but had all of the elements of a fun convention, but really focused primarily on gaming for people of all ages. So my co-founder, Brian Thomas, who you guys might remember from The Handymen or from Rise and Roll or from all the content on his channel, like The Bard's Tale. Brian Thomas from Initiative Coffee and I made LionCon, and we got more people to help, and every year it kind of got a little bit bigger, and this past year was awesome. Our very own DoD Spec Ops flew in to attend LionCon and was here all 3 days. For my patrons on Patreon, you guys got a chance to experience something very special for me personally, but also for a group of people. You guys who have followed me for a while know that once a year, sometimes twice a year if I'm lucky, I get together with a group of old friends and play D&D for a whole weekend, and we call this Gaming Weekend. Well, most of the guys from Gaming Weekend were able to come up for LionCon, which was really cool. So the Saturday night of LionCon, after the convention finished, we came back to the studio and we played D&D for about 4 hours. It maybe even longer. I don't know. It was like after 2 a.m. when we finally finished up. But we recorded everything, and that has been posted for my patrons on Patreon. So if you desperately want to see me and DoD Spec Ops and a group of my friends play D&D, you can become a patron, and then you can see it. It's pretty cool. Yeah, we took a lot of pictures this year, and actually one of my staff members and part-time staff members, and I'll say a friend, Marie, who also does a bit of gaming, she actually filmed a bunch of interviews and clips, and I'm waiting for her to finish a package from LionCon. So I will have a video recap from LionCon 2020 to share with you guys when Marie is done editing the video package, and I'm looking forward to that because we really don't have a lot of good video of LionCon from previous years. We just have like some pictures and stuff, but it was pretty awesome. We had Adventurers League. Brian Thomas was in charge of the Adventurers League along with a few other friends, and we had Adventurers League all day on Saturday and Sunday. That was pretty awesome. We also had multiple vendors, a fresh crop of some new vendors and some returning vendors. We partnered with our friendly local game store, Fair Game, and we were able to do just a ton of games. There were so many games that sometimes there weren't enough people to run the game that we had planned. So I'm hoping that our supply of awesome gaming draws more people in for next year. I have to give props to my old neighbor, Chris. He and his daughter and his cousin and his friend came in and ran an entire section of an area with an open gaming, board gaming area. And they taught people how to play board games, and they just really facilitated. They were so friendly and so inviting and so welcoming. We had a ton of adults, a ton of kids, a ton of families. We had teens, we had college kids. We had the whole mix. So we had people playing all day long, every day. Not just D&D, but lots of different role-playing games. Our friends from Limitless Adventures, they were a vendor, and they also ran some of their content and taught us how to play some of their gaming content, which was pretty cool. We had a costume contest, which is pretty awesome. We had some video game tournament action going on, board games. There was a game, there was a tournament of Coup, that's spelled C-O-U-P, Coop, but it's pronounced Coup. And that's a fun card-based game to play. So Yeah, LionCon was absolutely amazing. However, from February 9th until 3 hours from now, I have not had a day off. So I've worked 20 straight days without a day off. So I am mentally, emotionally, and physically exhausted, my friends, but feeling good, but still exhausted. So I am taking this weekend off, not doing anything except spending time with the family and just rejuvenating. But the good thing is we have content for next week already on the schedule. More Monster Monday, more Crafty Thursday, and it's exciting because the kids are getting into crafting. So, like, you'll see Jenny on Crafty Thursday, you'll see Beth and Reagan again, and some more of the people getting into the crafting. So it's really fun to share my enjoyment of mini painting and terrain crafting with the kids. It's pretty cool. So, all right, that's kind of a crazy recap of all the stuff that's been going on. Let me say hello to you all and answer some questions. Hello, Cindy. Hello, Roger. Thank you. Thank you. And I agree with you. I am already burned out, so I'll be healing this weekend. Thank you. Yes, Scott Mira says, love it. It was so cool to see Beecher come back for the Bard Odyssey. It was so cool to have Beecher come back for the Bard Odyssey. And wait for the next episode because you'll see Beecher and Sam and Tony and the Palisard brothers. You know, we kind of have had some scheduling difficulties with the Bard Odyssey. I would love to do it every week, but, you know, Tony and Sam are in school, Beecher's in school, and Tony and Sam are in school in Chicago. So it's easier to get a hold of them. They can hop on a train and come back out here. The Palisard brothers are, you know, working musicians. So they are like constantly on gigs. With their band Freakwilibrium, they just dropped a new album. So they're super busy, but, and Beecher goes to school like 3 hours away from here. So I'll take what I can get. And hopefully the next couple episodes, even though you'll hit a point in the storyline where Beecher's not there. But then hopefully if my timing works out, we'll get Beecher back again for another kind of cameo appearance, 1 or 2 cameo appearances. And then I'm looking forward to this summer. I know that's crazy because it's only February still, but believe it or not, I'm excited about summer because a lot of the college kids will be coming back, and I think you'll be able to see the Bard Odyssey with a very awesome reunion of cast members and some D&D summer sessions with some familiar faces as well. So that should be pretty fun. Let's see. Yeah, Ann Adams is still working on the special, The Masters of the Blade. It's long. It's a lot of D&D, man. I mean, we grinded. We took 1 bathroom break. That was it. And other than that, we just rocked out at the table. And it's, you know, it's fun for me to play, guys, because as you can probably imagine, I really don't get a chance to play. And it was fun for me to play with all the guys from Gaming Weekend. And it was especially fun to have DoD Spec Ops at the table with us, and he blended right in. It was like his old school D&D instincts just kicked right in. And he was sitting right next to me at the table, which was pretty cool, having him there. So, yeah, take your time, man. It's a lot to digest. And in case you guys were wondering, the Gaming Weekend campaign is set in the Forgotten Realms. It's not in my original world. We chose to do Forgotten Realms because of the lore that my friends built up. When they were growing up, they played, you know, hundreds, thousands of hours of D&D with characters over the course of years, and their characters kind of retired or died or whatever, became legends, became kings, became archwizards, all that kind of stuff. And then the next generation of characters kind of started playing in the Forgotten Realms decades later, and, you know, those characters are our current characters. So there's like Forgotten Realms standard lore, but then there's also like the homebrewed lore that they added in, and it's really quite robust. And there's just, you know, a lot of history there. So it's kind of fun to play again. And my character's story like has a whole backstory in terms of like what happened to him because he died and then was able to avoid death by making a pact. So he's now a fighter and a warlock, which is interesting. Yes. Yes, you finally get to see the stealthy DoD. Hey, Kanoko, how's it going, friend? Tyler Hughes, happy Friday to all of you. I would raise a toast of Coke Zero, but we're out. We've been filming Crafty Thursday, and we've depleted the Coke Zero fund, so I will have to go get some next week. That's thanks to my patrons. Alexis, hello there. Scott says we should do Taco Tuesday. That would not be a hard sell for the students, Scott. If I brought in like $50 of tacos, those kids would eat that stuff up in like 10 minutes. Yeah, the girls and the boys have a hearty appetite for tacos, let me tell you. But that's not a bad idea. Maybe we'll do Taco Tuesday live while we talk about table topics. Taco Tuesday table topics. Taco Tuesday table topics. That's a tongue twister. Flex says, could do better close-ups on the minis in Crafty Thursday. Yes, Flex, we are having a real hard time doing that because, I mean, there's a lot of light in the studio and the cameras are capable of getting pretty good shots, but it's hard to get table level shots from where we are. So just to let you know, we are working on that, but it might involve using a different camera and a different lens because the lenses that we have now are actually made for what we do in the games. So they're actually longer lenses that have the ability to zoom in so that the cameras can be a little further back and still get shots of everybody that when we're playing D&D. Whereas the kind of lens that would be ideal for shooting a close-up of a mini would be a shorter lens with a shallower depth of field and a faster lens. That means like it can open up its aperture more to get more light in so that we can get more close-up detail. But we are working on it, and hopefully I've been doing some experimentation, but I need 2 sets of eyes to do it, because if I set up the camera, then I have to tell Carafa to tell me from the control room, which is behind me. He has to be able to tell me if the shot is in focus or not, because the smallest camera that I can fit on there doesn't have a viewfinder. So it's like doing blind photography. So I have to plug it in and then I have to set it up so that I can get the mini. But we're getting there. And also, when we finish minis, I will take some nice, really gorgeous, you know, cinematic shots of the finished mini, which is easier to do with a DSLR and just edit that in. Whereas how we shoot Crafty Thursday now is more like a live shoot, so it's harder to integrate that. But we're working on it. Stay tuned. It will get better. Every episode we do, we change lighting and camera stuff a little bit to help make it better. Good question though. That's a lot of behind the scenes. Let's see. How many episodes? I'm so behind on your. It's good to have you guys all in the chat. It's nice to see this many people, considering I didn't really have much time to promote this upcoming live stream. But now that the insanity of Rockathon and LionCon is over, hopefully I'll be able to get back to a regular schedule with things like my Wisdom Wednesday for my patrons and my Feedback Friday for all of you guys. Oh, so how many episodes is the Bard Odyssey going to be? Kanoko, that is a great question. The answer is I don't know. A lot of it depends on the availability of the cast. My initial goal for this first season is to do 12 episodes. I kind of have a story arc built around that, but it could go longer. But I'm hoping that by the end of May, we will have at least the first season recorded or close to it, so that I can get the second season of Bard Odyssey going over summer. But we'll see. It really depends on the availability of the cast. Right now, we're having a tough time getting everybody's schedules sorted out. So, yeah, good question. Dirty Samurai, hey, loving Masters of the Blade. Wish you guys could meet up more often. Yeah, me too. We're actually talking about meeting up out east. For those of you who don't follow Nerdarchy, Nerdarchy is a huge channel for D&D resources, and Dave Friant of Nerdarchy is a friend, and Nerdarchy is having their own convention next Halloween weekend 2020, and we are tentatively booked to be the video crew for the Nerdarchy convention for all the live streams that they're planning on doing. So if I end up being there in Philadelphia, then there's a very good chance that the Masters of the Blade will attend the Nerdarchy convention and possibly even have a slot playing in one of the live streams. I have to work all the details out, but that's one thing that might happen. Otherwise, probably the next time we would all gather would be next February of 2021 at LionCon. Scott says, I think it's wonderful that you've managed to find a career that allows you to follow your bliss. It is. I have said this before and I'll say it again. I am blessed, lucky, and fortunate, depending on your belief system. I truly believe that I'm blessed because I'm able to do what I love with media and teach kids, and I have a great school and a very supportive community. And that I'm able to merge my love of D&D into kind of what I do, although, you know, it does take up a lot of time. The new D&D club that we started back in January is going well. We have met every week, and it's continuing to go well. We still have like 25 kids showing up like every week. They've made characters. We've broken up into different tables now. We've been playing adventures. So bit by bit, they're starting to learn. Next week, we have a DM training workshop where I and Jordan and Jenny are going to work with some of the kids who already DM a little bit and some of the ones who want to learn. And we're going to kind of go over the process for how to plan adventures, how to run adventures, how to deal with players, you know, and keep them engaged, all that kind of stuff. Going through all the tips of how to do D&D. So that's going well. It is exhausting. And I'm not going to lie when I say that this past month burned me out. So there might be a week in March, towards the end of March, where we take a break for a week, you guys, because that's spring break, and I need a break. So I'm going to muscle through the next 3 weeks, and then for spring break we'll have a week off, but then we'll resume, and I think it'll be good. It'll be worth it. Sometimes getting away from everything gives you a chance to regenerate, rejuvenate, and just kind of get readjusted, get your soul right. But yes, I am very blessed. And you know what? I'm going to be honest with you again. If it weren't for your support on the channel, you guys, and also for my patrons on Patreon, I can tell you without a doubt that we would not be able to do all this stuff. Absolutely would not be able to do it all. Maybe one D&D show. But if I didn't have the support, and I mean emotional support and, you know, your support by liking and subscribing, but quite frankly, I also mean financial support. I'm a teacher. I make a decent buck. I can support my family, but I'm a teacher, and I live in a very an area that is not cheap to live in. I know that's relative. I know people who live in LA and San Francisco and Seattle probably pay way more than I do for their cost of living, but you know, I'm in the Chicago area in a suburb that's not cheap to live in. So if I didn't have the financial support that Patreon and this YouTube channel helps with, I wouldn't be able to do all this stuff. So thank you guys, because you guys help me make my dreams come true, and you're helping me teach a whole other generation of kids about the awesomeness of role-playing games. So thank you. And speaking of thank yous, what? Ann Adams replenishing the Coke Zero fund. Oh, Topo Musical, my friend. Man, the fund is getting replenished. That is good. You know what? That's a perfect segue. Thank you again, you guys. But that's a perfect segue to give you guys a little reminder. A month ago, we teased that we were going to be doing more Call of Cthulhu. Well, it's finally happening. With your support, I went out and got the Call of Cthulhu Keeper book and gave it to Jenny and Jordan. And we are going to start making characters next week. We are going to film some of that. We're going to work on backstories, and Jordan's going to run solo session 0 kind of backstories with each player. And then we are going to have a live stream. I don't have the exact date yet, because a big part of the success or failure of our live streams involves crew. And if I don't have at least 3 people on the crew to help out with a live stream, it's not going to fly. So with that in mind, stay tuned in March for another Call of Cthulhu live stream. We're very excited about it. And yes, we will have Coke Zero. So that should be fun. All right. Oh, where are we? You guys are awesome. It's so nice to be back in Feedback Friday and just talking with you guys. I feel like a chance to just, all the things that have been on my mind have just been so out of control recently with how busy things have been. So it's nice to just unwind and connect with you guys. So thank you for tuning in. Let's see. Scott says his D&D group is reforming and starting again tomorrow, finally. That is awesome, Scotty. Keep the faith. Find a group, play your game, people, because it's good for the soul. Kanoko says, if the players combine the 2 worlds again, would you force the new players to be humans? That's a great question that I want to answer, but I can't, because it would be a significant spoiler. I can say this: nothing will be forced. I will not force any player on either side to do anything. What happens in Season 4 will be entirely based on their choices and their actions. There have been a lot of things that the Medusas have done and the Vixens have done that have gone against what I thought they would do. So to that end, it's completely player driven. They could save the world, they could destroy the world, they could totally do not either one of those things. There are an endless number of possibilities for what they could do. And we have a few months left to find out. So it is, without giving you any spoilers, I will say that I will not force anyone, but it is possible that there are many different choices for whatever happens with the 2 groups. A lot of different things could happen. Thank you, Anne, for the shout out. Once again, you guys, if you're watching right now, give a thumbs up. If you're watching this later, please give a thumbs up. Comment below if you have any suggestions, ideas, or questions for me. If you're in the live chat right now, I'm getting caught up. Welcome, as I said, to Topo Musical, and thank you, Anne, for mentioning the Patreon. It really does make a difference, you guys. Even at $1 or $2 a month, it's a game changer. It has allowed us to do a lot of things. I have taken a lot of that money and invested it into more supplies. So, for example, we are getting minis for the modern era Call of Cthulhu live streams that we're doing. Okay, that's all coming from the Patreon money. So if it weren't for you, that wouldn't be possible. We are getting more props and set dressings for the studio. so that the show, the Call of Cthulhu show, looks a little bit different than the D&D show. So we're working on some production oriented things, and it's because of that Patreon money that I'm able to invest back into what we're doing. Also, I take Karaf out to lunch pretty much every day because I have to, because that's how I pay him. So that also comes out of Patreon. So thank you. Let's see. Christopher Dorsano, my man. Well, Shallandor has been talking to all his friends about how good the Bard Odyssey is. Thank you. I will tell you guys that the next episode, the sound is horrible. And it is because we didn't have Karafa here. So when I say that having the right crew is important, and when I say that your Patreon and your Super Chat donations make a difference, I really mean it. Because I was in a situation where we had to film the Bard Odyssey, and I didn't have Karafa there because he had to work on another job, because when he works freelance video gigs, he gets paid more. So the sound for the music is absolutely atrocious, and I apologize in advance. We are working on having a better system for when they play songs to cut to different microphones so that it's not like distorted and crunchy. But I still think the gaming content is good, even if the song performances, if the sound quality wasn't that good. So I'm hoping you guys will stick with me. We're working through it, and we're trying to make each episode better. So Eric, Bill is the man. Thank you, Eric. I've learned so much from watching you, even incorporating some of your ideas, such as the critical damage method. Absolutely. You are welcome. I strongly encourage everyone to use the Bill Allan Damage Alternative Scoring System. And in fact, if you don't remember how it works, you could go to my Teespring account and buy your own mug or t-shirt, which has all of the rules listed on there. So, good for you. Good for you. Bill, if you get a chance, check out Savage World rule set. Roger, that is a great suggestion. I am very much interested in Savage Worlds. It was recommended to me actually a couple of years ago when I was thinking about getting back into playing Gamma World, because I kind of went through a post-apocalyptic phase. And I was told by many people that Savage Worlds is a great system. So I will hopefully check that out. Right now I'm very behind on, having the time to do that kind of stuff, because I'm focusing primarily on the game systems that we're using to play with. So the Call of Cthulhu game system, though, looks great. The book is great, and Jordan is studying it like it's homework so that we can be ready for the next live stream. So I'm looking forward to that. Michael Flynn's here, Ann Adams here. Mark Gump, what's up? What's up, my friend? Good to see all of you guys. It's great. Jade in August, it's got to be insanely exhausting pumping out this much content. We're grateful for it, though. Thank you. You being grateful for it, and you guys being so dedicated and supportive to me and the kids and to each other is awesome. I want to say that I really feel like we are building a nice community of people who share ideas and who comment and share their own insights on things, and it's awesome. Absolutely awesome. And I think it's a great inspiration for my students too, to see that all these different people from literally around the world are watching this content and stimulated by it and thinking about it and being entertained by it. And that's awesome. That is all good. So thank you guys. Tyler Hughes, question: how do you deal with violence and or mature subject matter in games with students? Do you often have to censor yourself, rein in the kids, do damage control with freaked out parents? That is a great question, Tyler. I can't say that I've censored myself. I certainly have run much darker content in other game systems. Like in the 90s, I played a lot of White Wolf games like Vampire the Masquerade and Mage the Ascension, and a lot of Call of Cthulhu. And I would say in that phase, we had some very dark, touchy subjects that would probably trigger a lot of people. And not in a gratuitous way, but in a very narrative way. I'm not a big fan of shock value just for the sake of shock value. If I put something into a game that is disturbing, it's because it's crucial to the narrative or crucial to character development. So I really haven't had to do very much censoring. I have never had to talk to parents who were freaked out about the games that their kids were playing in. In fact, it's the opposite. I've had parents tell me how happy they were that the kids were playing. Some of the kids' parents used to play D&D in their youth, and so for their kids to be getting into it, they're like actually genuinely excited. And we've even joked about doing D&D with high school parents, because there's like probably 6 of them that would sit down at a table and play D&D if I taught them the 5th edition rule set. So that, I guess to answer your question, I don't feel like we've had to do very much with that. And maybe I'm just lucky. I have good kids and I have parents who understand that ultimately what we're doing is storytelling, and that, you know, if there is any touchy subjects, I think we handle it pretty sensitively. I will say maybe that I have become more conscious about how I DM certain encounters with the girls. And I think that's good. I think it's made me more sensitive to how the girls react to stuff. So maybe, you know, in a cold, harsh world in fantasy setting or a post-apocalyptic setting, a group of females on the road could be attacked and bad things could happen. And I don't want to duck that possibility, because I think that could be a very real possibility and a very real threat. But at the same time, I want to empower the girls so that they know that in this game, they can stand up for themselves. They're heroes and they're not victims. And maybe they could even stand up for other people who can't stand up for themselves. And I see that happening. I see the girls becoming heroes, which is awesome, because I love all my kids. They're you know, we're a pretty tight family here at the studio, and you know, to see them get into this other facet of themselves, because make no mistake, role-playing games are a way for people to explore facets of their own personalities or their own interests. But to have them be able to do that in a safe environment of a role-playing game is pretty awesome. So far so good. And I think I'm also lucky because I got a lot of great kids. Dirty Samurai hasn't been able to play D&D in a long time, so he's living vicariously through my channels. That is my pleasure. DoD Spec Ops. What's up, buddy? Hope you're recovering from your lack of sleep this past weekend. Bill, is there a level cap in your world? No. I can answer that. I can tell you that there is a mechanic that I've invented so that if you hit level 20, which would be the cap in D&D 5e, I have a mechanic in place that allows, if the storyline allows it, to remort, which basically just means your character's avatar, their soul, can be reborn. And basically you retain some of your abilities and some powers, but you basically start over at level 1. Now, there's a lot more to it than that, but the idea is that instead of thinking of a character as a mortal soul who is done when they die, their mortal soul can be reborn and retain powers, retain memories, but they're kind of reborn as level 1. They're not reborn as a baby. It's kind of complex, but it's also very narratively driven. So it depends on their choices throughout their character's life as to whether that's an option, and if it is an option, what form it takes. So yeah, I think that kind of answers the question. Rymore Morris, I really miss the GD Dam. It's in the first season. I don't know what that means. Bill, I'm getting ready to introduce some new people to D&D, Kevin Alvarez. Your videos have helped me about the style of DM I would like to use, especially for newbies. That is awesome, Kevin. I'm glad that I could be of service. And feel free to check out the table topics videos and other kind of DM tips that I have. Monster Monday. Every episode of Monster Monday, I share information about monsters, but I also give you ideas about how to use them in encounters and how to use them in adventures or even integrate them into a campaign, and also how to scale them or make adjustments so that you can use them at different levels. Hopefully that'll be useful to you as well. Oh, the goddammits. Yeah, I let a few goddammits slip every once in a while, mostly when I'm yelling at Carafa. Carafa enjoys messing with me. Carafa gets a kick out of messing with me. And we prank each other a lot around here. Like the kids do it and Carafa does it. So, you know, I'm kind of like the dad who gets pranked by the kids a lot. Yes. Chaos. Wow, I'm really behind. Sorry, guys. I've been rambling. Yes, DoD Spec Ops is a movie star. Carafa is the MVP of the channel. Like I said earlier in the stream, I take Carafa out for lunch. I'm not joking, probably 3 to 4 times a week. And that's my way of showing my appreciation to Carafa for what he does on the channel. Obviously, there's much more to it than that. He knows that he's my right arm. I always give him credit, and it's for a good reason, because really, without Carafa, I wouldn't be able to do all this. I could certainly pull together a crew, but Carafa knows me well enough and knows what we do well enough to be able to make the shows happen the way that they should happen. So yes, kudos to Carafa. And yes, I do supply Carafa with Coke Zero as well. Thank you, Rymore. You probably left already, but I'm really behind on the chat. Yes, D&D with parents and students. I'm really behind on the chat because I talked about that like 10 minutes ago. Yes. DOD says there's such a thing on Patreon. You can see the dads playing D&D. Yeah, that's basically what it was. It was D&D with dads. The Masters of the Blade we're all just a bunch of old men now. Ooh, that's a good idea. Kanoko says, can I prank the kids into thinking they lost their character sheets and have them start over? That is a wonderful idea. I should do that to the Vixens. Okay, I am caught up now. No, I'm not. There we go. Yes, I'm caught up. Anne says that she says, old, please. All right. So I will say this, guys, to recap, if you're, just getting into the chat right now, thumbs up, please, thumbs up this Feedback Friday video. I am hoping to get back on the regular schedule so that we could do Feedback Friday every Friday. But as I said, we got Monster Mondays that we've been cranking out. And I'm getting feedback from all of you guys. I'm trying to respond to your suggestions. I think you guys probably saw, was it last week when I did the Shambling Mound? So especially for my patrons, if you have a request, but for all of you guys, if you see a Monster Monday and you have a request or a comment, or you have your own experience with it, don't forget to comment, because we are building a community, and every time you guys share stuff with each other, it makes that community more vibrant. The other thing that I was going to say is that we are doing well with the Medusas and we're doing well with the Vixens. Those shows should be right on track, with the exception of the last week in March. Like I said, I'm going on vacation for spring break, and then immediately, like literally the next morning after I get back from vacation, I'm going up to Lake Geneva because we are once again the official crew for GaryCon. So that's going to be a nonstop week, but we won't have any content in that last week of March because of all that stuff. The Bard Odyssey is going well. We have some sound issues in the next episode, and I apologize in advance because the great and mighty Carafa wasn't there to run my sound for me. So, but we are working through some options to make that a little better for the next episodes of the Bard Odyssey. Last but not least, don't forget Crafty Thursday, every Thursday. Get your craft on. And also, Jordan, Jenny, and I are steadily working on the Call of Cthulhu thing. We just got the book. Jordan's reading through it. We're going to work on making characters next week. And hopefully, we will have another Call of Cthulhu live stream in March for you guys. Stay tuned. I will keep you posted on that. That's going to be awesome. We have tweaked the system for interactivity so that if you're playing, you're watching the live stream, you can donate through Super Chat and you can have an impact on characters or on the game. We are changing it so that it won't break the game, because the Halloween live stream was kind of ridiculous to the point where some people like had success rolls automatically. So instead we're changing it to a luck system, where in the Call of Cthulhu game system they have luck, and you can buy luck for people to help them boost their rolls. That way it's not a guaranteed success, but it still has an impact on the game. So you can actually buy people more luck or replenish their luck if they've spent it. So that'll be fun. I think that'll be really cool, and I'm looking forward to doing Call of Cthulhu and Jordan having the real book and all that stuff. So, oh yeah. Jaden asks how the video monetization is going. I would say it's okay. I'm not going to complain. I think there's a big push. Every time that you guys share the videos to other places, I see a little spike in subscribers. So to be quite honest, the more you guys share around the tabletop gaming community, or comment on other people's videos, I mean, I don't want you to be obnoxious. I don't want you to troll other people. But if you genuinely enjoy some of my video content and it's appropriate for you to share, that does make a difference, because then I see an influx of traffic, and that's kind of important. So whether it's on Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, Instagram, Discord, or even on YouTube or Twitch, if there's people who are part of a community that you're part of, and it's okay and within the rules, or it's appropriate for you to share, that always does help. I do notice an increase at that time. So, and I thank you guys for that, because like I said, every little bit helps. I've taken a lot of the money from Patreon and from the YouTube channel and reinvested it into what we're doing. Sometimes with props, sometimes with like literally feeding the crew, feeding the cast. Like I'll order pizza or get another case of Coke Zero. All those things, all that generosity from you really does make a difference. It's amazing how much happier people are when you feed them food, and they're working for you. So it kind of makes sense. Cthulhu slumbers, but Cthulhu will awaken. Shalendor says, when I get to GaryCon, check out an artist called Cave Geek Art. I will try, but I'm going to tell you that Luke Gygax has us working. We're going to be doing 2 12-hour days and an 8-hour day. So if I have time in between shows, I will definitely try to hit the artist area up, because there's always some amazing people there. And quite frankly, some legends. Like I've seen Jeff Easley there, Larry Elmore. I met Margaret Weiss and got her autograph. Like, there are some really amazing people who show up and a lot of the legends from TSR are at GaryCon, so it's really cool. Joe Vlogs got an ad for free NAB show tickets. Are you attending? Yes, we are. We are going to Vegas. We will be in Vegas for the NAB show from April 18th through the 22nd. It's going to be a crazy jam-packed schedule, but if you happen to be going to the NAB show and you want to meet up, send me a message or email me. That's probably better. Actually, last year I did meet up with a young fan, which was pretty cool. His mom drove him to the restaurant that we were at, and we were able to meet up and take pictures. So yeah, if you're in Vegas, we will be there. Hit me up. Stamp says, dude, your videos are awesome. Keep doing what you're doing. Thank you, Stamp. Thank you. That means a lot. Annie, thank you. Thank you. I love you guys. All my patrons. You guys are my rocks. Thank you so much. And I will tell you this. Oh, hey. What's up, Martin? Martin made it just in time. Can we come to Comic-Con? Someday. Kanoko, someday I will. I have some friends in LA who have told me that I can crash on their couch to come to the San Diego Comic-Con. That might be a 2021 kind of thing, depending on how things go. 2020 is the year where I finally finish a project that we've been working on for months, and we kickstarted successfully. Wink, wink, that's my goal. Oh, yes. Perry, I saw your D&D with high school students about a year ago when I was starting to learn and loved it. I finally found it again and started watching the series. I'm obsessed. Subscribed this morning. Thank you, Perry. Thank you for your support. I guarantee you'll enjoy. If you liked season 1, watch season 2 and onwards. The master playlist, the complete series, has everything in order. If you want to binge watch it, there's probably several hundred hours of gaming on there. So thank you. I appreciate the support. Guys, I gotta wrap it up. It is 5 minutes till showtime. So I literally have to run across the street to the gymnasium building where tonight's biggest basketball game of the year will be happening. So that's also a thing that's happening. And actually, you can watch it live. Hold on. Let me just see the link and I'll pop it in. Not that you really care about our high school's basketball team, and I don't even know if they'd win because they have not had the most successful season this year. But this is where I will be, and Carafa is currently at this location. So I will paste the link into the chat. Thank you guys so much. Andy, Ann, Michael Flynn, DOD, Jaden, Perry, Kanoko, Roger, Shallendor, Flex, Tex, Mark Gump, Topo. Thank you guys all so much. I love you guys. Thank you for your support. And stay tuned for next week's content. We have Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. 4 days of love for you. So without further ado, I say peace to you. Thank you for watching, liking, subscribing. Click on that notifications bell. And if you have a spare $1 or $2 every month, consider going over to patreon.com/BillAllenWorld. Every dollar counts, and every dollar makes a difference as I move forward to teach the next generation the greatness that is role-playing games. Until we meet again, my friends, I now turn on the fractal camera!